Oh, hello there. Now, I've always maintained that I am a car collector and not a car hoarder, because a collector maintains his collection. He improves upon it. He manages it, while a hoarder will just buy any project that comes his way and just throw it in his yard with grandiose plans of completing it someday, only to see it rot into the ground. Now, I'm not that kind of guy, but I feel myself teetering on the edge right now. And the number one question I get in my comments for months has been, what's going on with the Bentley? The Bentley! Hey, the Bentley! We need a Bentley update! And I'm sorry, there just hasn't been enough going on with the Bentley to warrant a full dedicated video. I came really close to making a video and everything just totally blew up. So I'm on my way to Halstead, Kansas right now to check out the Bentley and give you a full status update. But here's something that I filmed last week when I thought I had finally had the thing licked for $1. A $1 clamp was going to fix my car. I was really that naive in thinking that that was going to do it. So check this out. I've spent 2 months worrying about this basket case of a Bentley Continental GT behind me. Now, for those who don't remember, I bought the cheapest one for sale in the United States, a 2004 with supposedly 47,000 original miles for only $27,700. It arrived barely running, and I later discovered the car had spent 10 years in Russia, where it had its odometer rolled back multiple times, so it probably has something like 147,000 miles on it. This pretty much torpedoes any kind of resale value, so I'm pretty much married to this thing forever, which is kind of like how I am with my LS Swap Porsche 911. This really wouldn't be a big deal if it ran right, but unfortunately my Bentley had a big vacuum leak, causing it to barely move under its own power. This is a common issue for these cars, as the engine bay is comprised of a bunch of brittle plastic vacuum lines, and Bentley's prescribed fix is to drop the entire W12 drivetrain and front subframe, all of it, and just redo all the vacuum lines. Now, the car wizard did a little research and found that people are doing this job by simply removing the steering rack. Now, I say simply, but you'll shortly see why it's not that simple. Getting out the rack took nearly a day by itself, as there was plenty of stuff to get out of the way beforehand, along with a few nearly impossible to reach bolts. But once the wizard did wizard his way out of it, it was quickly apparent that somebody had already been in there and had updated the vacuum lines with more durable rubber ones. So the wizard hooked up his smoke machine again, which sends smoke through the vacuum system to see where it's leaking, and found one of the hose clamps had come loose. Literally a $1 hose clamp deep in the bowels of the engine was keeping this car from running properly. Take a listen.
Yep. Let me open this door.
I had no idea it was that bad now. Purple rain, purple rain. Obviously, it's not supposed to smoke that much. Initially, it was a little bit of smoke, so we thought it was just running rich because of the mass airflow sensor. And it actually turned out to be a bad turbo. The wizard stuck a camera down the intake, down into the turbo, and there's a bunch of oil on that right side. We weren't having smoke beforehand because the turbos weren't working. The vacuum system was totally toast and not opening up the turbos to work at all. So I thought I was going to help him put this thing back together and take it on its first drive and have an amazing triumphant video where a $1 hose clamp fixes my cheapest Bentley Continental GT in the USA, but it's going to be a little more than that. The used turbo off of a 25,000 mile Continental GT was only $500, but it's going to be a pain in the butt to put in. And that's going to happen after the new year. There's still some other projects hanging around here, like The 98 Jeep Cherokee, my $300 Jeep Cherokee, the head is actually back from the machinist and it's ready to go back on. And also there's that $3,000 BMW M3 I bought that's got to be ready for Christmas for my girlfriend. And I realized after I made the video that the seat adjustment doesn't work. She's only about 5 feet tall and there's no way she could reach the pedals. There's also a few little maintenance items like brakes and some suspension bits that need to be done before I hand it over to her. So hopefully that gets done by Christmas. But it's going to be a while before you see anything new with the Bentley. And I'm sorry. I know you guys are complaining about it a lot, but the Wizard has other jobs to do, like this. He's kind of gone Hollywood on us, too. Sweet Jesus. Had to show you these meaty tires that are going on the LX470. I'm going to have to raise the suspension quite a bit, so we'll be eliminating the hydraulic suspension, even though it's working perfectly, but we got to get that height. There's also some bumpers and other things on the way for it, so get ready for that. One of the Car Wizard's friends lives just a few miles away, and he has a paint shop attached to his barn. And I'm having a car painted. And of all the cars that I've decided to have repainted, you're not going to believe what I picked. You may not recognize it, but this is actually my pimped Prius. I'm going a little overboard, as you can tell, and opting for an entire paint job that should happen sometime between now and New Year's. Now, I have a theme in mind, and it involves a big man with a stretched arm going down the side, and orange paint, and a giant wing, and maybe some NOS. And if you know where I'm going with that, then yeah, you're probably excited. But yes, Pimp My Prius is continuing, and it's going to be quite a sight when it's done. I'm not sure if it's going to be cool, but it's going to be a sight. So that's it for the Halstead projects. For what else I have going on, I actually have to head back to my hometown of Wichita, Kansas, and I'm stopping by another shop. Yes, my 8 Series is being touched by someone else. Actually, Dana over at Luxury and Repair Specialists in Wichita. These are the same guys that actually did my S600 V12 swap. That $4,500 S600 that I bought with a bad motor is actually sitting back there, my old core motor. Also back there is a new set of wheels for this 8 Series. I got some nice looking M parallels out the new 7 Series, so I'm really excited to put those on. And everything else is pretty much close to finished. I have to figure out what's going on, or they have to figure out. Where's that going there? And I do have other projects waiting in the wings, I'm sure you're aware of, which are currently in storage at my Hoopty Fleet headquarters building. So we'll go and check those out now. In some awkward transitionless jump to where I'm just standing out there with the cars, just like boom. Yes, rotting away in my Hoopty Fleet headquarters, a barn that I rented about a mile from my house, are 2 of my cheapest cars. This $2,100 Lexus LX 470 and my $500 1994 Subaru SVX. Really, not much has happened. I showed you some of the parts that I have coming in for the Lexus, but we're still 4 to 6 weeks out on the lift kit, and I'm having a really hard time finding a rear hatch for it that isn't rusted. I might have to break down and buy one that isn't color matched, even though it's $600, and have to paint it to match, which is kind of a tough pill to swallow, especially since I'm already spending $4,000 on parts to make this thing into an expedition rig. Also, my Subaru SVX, I really haven't done a thing. It actually took quite a bit of effort to get this thing running, as I hadn't touched it since I made the video about a month ago. And really, I do need to fix the power steering, put some wheel bearings on it, and probably a transmission cooler, because these transmissions are known for overheating and exploding on any kind of spirited driving before I do any kind of rallycross event. But we're going into winter, and I really can't do much during the winter, as the rallycross season here kind of shuts down in the snow, and I'm not going to go camping when it's 0 degrees outside in the Lexus. So I'm not too motivated. I have the other cars, like you've seen earlier, that are bigger priorities. And if I didn't already have enough current projects and upcoming projects, I've actually bought 2 more cars that you haven't even seen yet. I've totally lost it. And if you think I should submit this video to the TV show Hoarders and maybe get some help, hit that like button. And as always, thank you for watching.